Awesome.
Sorry.
So I'm sure most of you met me last night during my little dance. That was fun. So I am very passionate about behaviors and how that creates a culture. So we're going to talk about that today. Kind of a lot of stuff that you guys already do in performing your store. Service Plus is pretty huge, so we'll discuss what that means. So my name's Joe Fraley. Of my success and ultimately the success of my sales team. These specific components are rapport building, assumptive selling, the bundle, gaining agreement, and closing of the sale. So mine have.
Peter, take some time to really think about that.
It's all gravy.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about rapport building for a moment. The first fundamental item of building rapport is the meet and greet. This is your opportunity to set the tone for the sales interaction. Greeting the customer with a smile, eye contact, and a can-do personality will establish trust and confidence. Equally important is the name exchange during the initial greeting. It's important to use the customer's name throughout the entire interaction. Personalize the sale. Ask questions and maybe where does the customer work? Perhaps they own their own business. How will that affect the conversation and kind of what products and services you can sell them? Pay attention to verbal and non-verbal cues. This is really important. So when somebody walks into your store, it's pretty easy to pick up on the customer's personality and adapt the sale from who they are. But you got to ask questions. You got to build that rapport. So you can't treat every customer the same when they walk in. Every customer is going to be different. I think that's part of the reason why I love this job so much is because it's kind of like being on stage, you know, kind of like acting, kind of. But it's just so much fun because it doesn't get boring. It's going to be a new personality that walks in that door all the time. After the initial greeting, you should establish the customer's purpose of visit. You ask fact-finding questions and paint the canvas and provide solutions. To further qualify the customer, you will continue with leading questions which intentionally directs the customer to the solution they desire. For instance, how do you connect on the go? It's kind of a probing question. Customers are going to think, well, what does that mean actually? What are you talking about? What do you mean connect on the go? So if I asked you the question, how do you connect on the go, what kind of product or service would you be able to provide? Sell the customer. Anybody? Hotspot. Awesome. What about, is there any other product that maybe connecting on the go might be important? I'm sorry? Tablet. Awesome. So these are two emerging products that if you ask the right probing questions, a customer is going to start thinking about, well, what do you mean connect on? Well, actually, yeah, you know, it would be kind of nice to use my tablet on the go. So you could say stuff like, wouldn't it be awesome to have a Starbucks in your car? So somebody said, well, what do you mean by that? What do you guys think that means? Starbucks in your car?
On the go. Internet.
On the go, internet. So now we're talking about the Wi-Fi, the mobile hotspot. So these kind of questions to kind of probe a customer to kind of introduce a sale, a product or a service, but they're really important. Let's talk about assumptive selling. This is huge. This is really important. If you're not familiar with the term assumptive selling, raise your hand. Okay, awesome. Anybody else? Okay. Assumptive selling is really, that's how we should be doing it. We shouldn't be asking the question, asking the customer if they want a screen protector or case. We should be leading them into purchasing that case or screen protector. Yep. Is that where we're at? That's where we're at. Awesome. So if you have a rep that's sort of kind of, well, would you like a case with that? You kind of want to redirect their train of thought because that's not how we sell. That's being a clerk, and that doesn't go very far. Learning the talent of assuming the sale will provide you with the necessary tools to expand your sales bucket. With assumptive selling, you assume that every qualified buyer will utilize the benefits of your product or service. You're confident in it, and you got to be. You believe in your heart that it's your duty to convince your customer that the features and benefits of a product or service will provide them with the solution they are after. This method of selling will immediately boost your confidence and will lead to more successful closes. The key to success with assumptive selling is that your buyer is truly qualified. That's really important. So you got to make sure that they have a need or want to satisfy. So you got to qualify them on that. You got to ask those questions. Do they have a need for a Wi-Fi? I think so. And you can kind of lead them and walk them into that product that's going to satisfy their needs. Also, their needs and requirements must match up to the benefits and services that you provide. And so, you know, that's really important. If you're asking the questions, you want to make sure that you're confident enough in a product to sell it. You know, you can't try to talk about a Wi-Fi and then not know the plans that it's attached to. So you really have to educate yourself on that. Additionally, verify you are speaking with the decision maker and not the information gatherer. Lastly, qualify the customer's purchasing power. What's your budget today? So that's really important to ask in the beginning, because you could be talking, you can just load them onto, give them a whole bunch of stuff, but maybe they're not, maybe they didn't answer that question themselves. What is my budget? How much money do I have to spend today on a product or service? So let's talk about maybe.
Might point it at the.
Just kidding. Just joking.
I apologize for the technical difficulties.
All right, let's talk about the bundle. All right, so one of the categories that Aurora is known for is the bundle or the complete sale. What's more satisfying than selling a single phone or service plan? Bundling that phone with an emerging product. This emerging product or EP can be a complementary purchase. So let's say you're buying the G4. What's a complementary purchase to the G4?
G-Pad.
G-Pad. Another example would be purchasing a Slate tablet. What's a complementary product of a Slate tablet? What about a mobile hotspot? So it's easy to bundle products when you understand the features and benefits that each product or service provides for the customer. Your job is to show the customer how these products or services can change the way they live and do business. Along with bundling emerging products, you can bundle TEP. Insurance or comprehensive coverage, as Aurora likes to call it, should be bundled in every plan build out. It's your job to make sure the customer understands the importance and value of covering their investment. The devices are super expensive, and if you have multiple devices on an account, it can cost a customer thousands of dollars. A lot of customers really don't necessarily see that until, like we talked before, when they break their phone or they lose it or it gets stolen. And now they're like, well, what are you going to do for me? Well, you know, if we have their back in the beginning and attach that insurance on there and do our jobs in explaining how important it is to insure your device, then we're not going to have that customer that's super upset when they break their phone. When they come into a store, we're going to help them file the claim. We're going to show them how, you know, paying $13 a month is super important. It's an investment in their product. I'm just not very good at this, I guess.
I got you.
You got me?
There you go.
Maybe I should have already been on that one. Oh, well, no. Nope, here we go. All right. Gaining agreement and closing. The final and most important part of the sale is gaining an agreement. It shouldn't be difficult at this point because you've already qualified the customer and provided them with solutions that connect them to what matters most. The fact-finding and leading questions you asked at the beginning of the sale are tools to help you close and overcome any objection the customer may have. It's important that the customer remembers you, the salesperson. They got to remember you, not Sprint. They have to remember, you know, who did I deal with? I dealt with Joe. I'm going to go back to Joe. That's really super important. So personalizing the sale is key. You just got to remember you're a direct reflection of Sprint. It's your job to introduce or reintroduce customers to Sprint. We want to be a customer's personal Sprint guy. We want referrals. When that survey comes to a customer's phone, we want them to remember the experience they have with us at the store level. Super important. All right, Service Plus. Get kind of excited about this. So I even got it embroidered on my jacket. It's really important. So Service Plus is the foundation of my store success, honestly. I decided to create this phrase because it calls upon an action. I'm sure many of you guys have gone to purchase something, and the sales rep literally clerked the sale. It's kind of depressing. You went in, you grabbed the product, paid for it, and left. Did the salesperson take care of your initial need? Perhaps. Do you think your experience would have been better if the associate had suggested another product or service? How do we qualify someone for additional services or products? When a customer visits my location, they have an initial need to be met. Our goal is to satisfy that need and add to the customer experience. For example, customer needs to pay their bill. We should take their bill pay, verify the account holder, and then scrub the account for opportunities. Another example, let's say a prospective customer wants to inquire about setting up 2 new lines of service. Do we think 2 new lines, or do we think 2 cell phones, a mobile broadband, a phone connect, and a tablet? Next, we need to ask the questions that to connect the customer to the additional products or services. Think of Service Plus as an opportunity to build rapport with a client, which results in either generating new business or securing and reestablishing a relationship with the client. Service Plus is also responsible for reintroducing the client to Sprint. Sometimes customers have had some bad experiences, particularly with our service in the past. It's awesome now. It's our job to reestablish and reconnect the relationship. If we rebuild the trust with the customer and assure the client that we have their best interest in mind, we create new business through additional services and referrals. We are the face of the industry. Customers trust us to qualify them and connect them to what matters most. We have to lead the sale. We're the doctors in this profession. I don't know. Maybe.
Just tell me.
I think we're okay.
There you go.
No, I don't even know. All right. Service Plus is about separating yourself from the rest. Let's say a prospective customer who's shopping for plans speaks negatively about their carrier. This is really important, okay? Because you've got to separate yourself from when you walk into Best Buy Mobile and you know, but you walk into another Best Buy Mobile, it's kind of the same experience, you know. You really, it's not something for a customer to remember. You know, you want a customer to really remember you in that store. You got to set yourself aside from them. Let's say a customer's coming in and they're shopping for plans and they start speaking negatively about their current carrier. Instead of discrediting ourselves by agreeing with a client, why don't we separate ourselves? Be the difference. The customer's trying to pull us in, and that's what they expect. We should say every company has something to offer, right? Let me show you what Sprint has to offer. You'll be surprised to see the customer's persona change real quickly when you do that. Because when people start, they want to win you on that side, but as soon as you start going on that side, they start to immediately discredit you as a salesperson. Eric actually made a point one time in a meeting, because I brought this up, and he said, well, sometimes it's important to agree with the client. Like if a client comes in and says, Verizon's so expensive. Well, they are. So it's okay to agree with that, But just make sure that you're not discrediting yourself. Be smart about it. We've now earned, when we finally stay neutral, we've earned respect, and the customer can start to trust what we're saying throughout the sales process. Although the customer is not currently happy with their carrier when they start complaining, they still have a relationship that we need to respect. They have a relationship with that carrier, so let's make sure we respect that. If we're knowledgeable about plans and services of our competitors, that should be plenty of ammunition to win the customer for life. So let's be the difference. Building a winning team. To build a winning team, you've got to earn the respect of your employees. Your employees don't inherently give you respect. Everyone has to believe in you. As a manager, your job is to set the right expectations and exceed these expectations personally. My team knows I'll never ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. Employees need help understanding what's required of them. Your employees should be recognized when they've done a good job. I'm talking about exceeding expectations, not just the standard job requirements. Additionally, your attitude and spirit of success is contagious. Attitude is contagious. You gotta stay positive. Sometimes there might be something that you just don't like, that kind of, it's just like, man, I can't believe they're doing this again. Or whatever it is. Maybe it is a bad idea. But your job is to keep keep the spirits high. You know, everybody's looking to you and seeing how you're going to react to something. So you got to keep it high. You got to keep happy. You know, you got to keep the morale. AJ spoke about the buy-in. If you're not sold, your employees aren't sold. If your team believes in you, they're likely enough to trust you and trust in what you're selling. I want to talk about trimming the fat, eliminating the virus. This is important. So we've all had them, the employee that won't conform, the bad attitudes, poor behaviors. We really have to take care of it quickly. It's our responsibility to protect our home base, which is our employees that respect us and support us with good behaviors. So don't allow a bad employee to linger and affect the attitudes of successful salespeople. Determine the culture of your store. You set the tone and pace for your location. You are ultimately responsible for the success and failures of your store. You control the game. Any of you can build a winning team. And you know, a lot of us talk. We talk a lot, but but do we always put something into action? We say, yeah, I really want to sell all these emerging products this month, or I really want to be the #1 store in Colorado and the nation. But I say, man, just don't talk about it. Just be about it. Make it happen. Put those attitudes and behaviors that you already know how to do, infect them into your crew, and make sure that it's consistent attitude all day long, defined by one individual's hard work. It takes a motivated team to be successful in this industry. Everybody's got to be on board. I look forward to speaking with many of you throughout the rest of the summit. Thanks.